So why did we start?
You can start this one.
Okay, so for me, I came to America when I was 8 years old. My family had literally maybe $700 in cash and 10 bags of luggage. That's all we had. Pretty much came here with nothing. First year in America, we were living in the basement of another family's house. I'm sure that's a pretty common story for other immigrants as well. And then my father, or our family moved out to Salisbury, Maryland, and my dad started a car repair shop there, and he's been doing that since. But long story short, just watching him grow the business to what it is now, and just watching him go through the whole process. So like the first few years, he wouldn't come home until like 10 p.m. because I mean, there was just a lot to do in terms of learning all the skill sets, but also learning how to operate a proper business. And so that was a big impact for me, because in middle school, I actually worked with him during the summers. I would just watch him work, do the cash register, whatever, and get some, I guess, small allowance on the side. But just watching him do that through the hot days of summer, and I've never seen him complain about it. He just works all the time, worked really hard, and seeing how he grew a small business, I wanted to do something that would either provide a product or service for these small businesses that give so much value to the community. And yeah, that was just a big factor for me, and I wanted to do something that would help that community in one way or another. So that's one of my main reasons.
All right, so why I started to pursue this business comes kind of from two things. First of all, I went to college. I graduated with a science degree. I still have passion for the science. I appreciate it a lot. But when it comes down to it, looking at how the economy is now, I realized that staying in this kind of job and not being able to pursue a higher education due to the amount of loan debt I've occurred, or just other financial reasons, it really made me think that where I want to be in life, sitting at this job, seeing that there is possible room for a promotion or something like that, but I just realized I just felt like I wasn't really growing. My growth started to plateau as a person coming out of college.
Yeah.
And to me, I don't know, I just felt like in this time, me being in my 20s, I'm just super hungry, super motivated to really make a name for myself, really leave a legacy for my future kids and my family and my parents. And another thing that really drives me right now is my parents. So they immigrated to this country about, I'd say, 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. And the unfortunate part about it now is as most immigrants are, they kind of stay within their business or their occupation. And for them, what they were making 20 years ago was easily enough to really have a decent living here in the States.
Yeah.
And within the past year, with all this inflation and stuff, it's become a lot harder for them. So I really want to give back to them. They've sacrificed everything for me. That's something that I always heard growing up. We came to this country for you, to give you a better life, so you can get better education, so you can get a great job. And being an only child, I definitely just want to give everything back and more to them.
Can be a lot of weight on your shoulder.
You could say that.
One way or the other, depends on how you look at it.
Yeah. How has the experience been so far? Let's see. If we take it back from the beginning, it was an interesting experience because I felt like what I missed being a year away from college is the learning aspect to it. Yeah, I was learning things at my job currently, and it's kind of things that seem very repetitive. Yeah. With this new field, coming from a science background, switching to business, it was something new to learn every day. There was a different mindset. I brought my analytical thought process from the scientific realm and started to integrate it with the business, and I found that really, really exciting. On the flip end, I found it also very, very frustrating when we got kind of stuck. We didn't know how to make this process go by easier, how to, our expertise wasn't fully there. And sometimes we were even in a spot where we did well and we had no idea how we did it. So it's a pretty interesting experience.
Yeah, that definitely can be frustrating. I mean, at first it's oh yay, we did it, but then looking back, it's okay, how do we repeat this?
Yeah.
And with even in science, but within anything in life, if you're successful but you can't repeat it, can you even call it a success at that point? But for me, the whole experience has been well, great in many sense, but also, like he said, stressful because throughout my school years, everything kind of just flowed pretty well. There wasn't much struggle. I mean, minus a few classes, but even like generally throughout my life, I think I was blessed with, you know, parents who kind of protected me and educated me pretty well and guided me on a path so that I don't make as many mistakes, thankfully. So it was hard shifting my mindset to being okay with making mistakes all the time and being okay with not being able to solve the problem right off the bat. You know, sometimes things take months and maybe some even years. So like definitely another aspect of my personality that grew was the patience, like having the patience to work day in, day out, even through the night sometimes, most of the time, as many entrepreneurs and business owners could relate. And so there was a lot that I learned, and it really opened up my perspective, especially from my parents' perspective, because as business owners and as like head of family, they have to take care of not only just the business but also the family as well. And understanding how difficult it is to start something from ground up, I've been able to connect with them better and respect them even more for everything that they've done. And so, I mean, so far everything has been a lot of personal growth, a lot of growth and skill sets as well. Being able to see different aspects of a business and being able to see different opportunities from a different angle, which is not something that's always taught in school.
Yes.
Especially in school, you're kind of just, you know, taught to memorize things, a graph, an equation, and told to apply it in a problem that has a pretty straightforward answer most of the time. But in life, that's not the way it works. And also, generally, people don't really care how much you know. Like, you could be the world genius, but if you can't communicate your message to everyone, and if you can't connect with the people around you, you can't really get to the point that you need to get to. I mean, you might be able to, but it won't be that fast, and it won't be as efficient. And so a lot of the things that we've been learning is definitely a lot of soft skills that I didn't have the opportunity to develop throughout my college years. So yeah, it's been a fun ride so far, and I'm excited to keep going and see what we can do. Definitely optimistic about what we can do. It's gonna definitely take a lot of time, but you know, I have no doubts about being able to bring a lot of value to our community, and you know, with the big goal in mind of helping small businesses around us and growing with them.